What is going on, everybody? It is Handles, and last night I probably saw the weirdest game of basketball in my entire life. If you saw the game too, then I'm sure you are too in disbelief. Anyways, a name you might have heard by now is Collin Sexton. He was surging over his senior year in high school. You might even seen a little battle between him and Jalen Hands. But anyways, he committed to Alabama University. Right now, he's averaging 25.2 points, 4.4 assists, 3.8 rebounds, and 1.2 steals over the 5 games they've played so far. Obviously, he's playing pretty well right now, but last night, or if you're watching this later, on November 25th, 2017, was possibly the weirdest game of basketball ever. So Alabama had a game against Minnesota, and the game was going pretty normally. It went how any basketball game would. The first half ended and the second started. So a little more than 6 minutes goes by, and the madness started. After a made 3, a player on Minnesota and Ingram got tangled up, and that player did not like that and started to throw Ingram around. That caused everybody to start squaring up, and all Alabama reserves left the bench during it. And that caused every single person on the bench to be ejected from the game. Yes, the entire bench was ejected from the game. They left the game, and you could see their bench was completely empty, and there was still more than 13 minutes of game time left, so obviously players are going to get a little tired soon. Then again, another strange thing happened. Isaiah Washington, or otherwise known as Jellyfam, went for a layup and missed, and Ingram, with 4 fouls already, was called for an over the back foul, and he fouled out of the game with 5 fouls. And if you've ever saw the Laker vs Cavalier game in 2013, this actually happened in the NBA before, but the NBA rules are a little different, in which there has to be 5 players on the court no matter what, even if a player fouls out. So when Robert Sacre fouled out with no bench left, they let him play, but any foul he committed would be a technical. But in college, it's a little different. When Ingram fouled out, he's actually not allowed to play anymore, and the NCAA rules allow a team to play with less than 5 players. And with no bench, there was no one to replace him. So Alabama had to play with only 4 players. They had no choice. Then the unthinkable happened. John Petty got open for a 3, shot it, and Devontae Fitzgerald did that suspect move by not giving him any landing space, but John ended up landing on his foot and turning his ankle. I'm sure Devontae didn't mean to do that, but it's pretty standard to know to always let the shooter to have landing space. But anyways, he turned his ankle and he couldn't play for the rest of the game and had to leave. Again, with the bench being ejected, with 1 player fouling out and another getting injured, Alabama was left with only 3 players on the court. Yes, only 3 freaking players were on the court for Alabama with 10 minutes and 41 seconds left in the game. At this point, you're down 13 with only 3 players even remaining in the game. You're literally playing 3 on 5. It's okay to lose this one. And damn, you won't believe what happened next. So Minnesota decided to double every player who had the ball, and I mean, that's a good idea. Why wouldn't you constantly double when you're only playing against 3 players? And this is where the show starts. Collin Sexton just started to go ham. He was getting layups, free throws, doing euros. He was scoring everything. But Alabama now is down by 15 with just over 6 minutes left in the game. You'd probably think, yeah, Alabama's going to lose and that you can turn off the TV. But Collin pulls up and hits a 3. Okay, a few minutes goes by, Minnesota is still constantly doubling, and bam, Collin pulls up again and hits the 3. Oh man, Collin was going off. For some reason, Minnesota was struggling to score on only 3 players, and Collin just kept pulling up. He hits a 3, goes for a layup, and all of a sudden, the unthinkable was happening. Alabama caught up and was only down by 3 after Minnesota had a 15-point lead with 6 minutes remaining in the game. Sadly, this is where it ends for Alabama's amazing run. Minnesota ended up pulling out the game and won by 5 in the end. But I gotta say, even though Minnesota won the game, that's an L for them in my books. You're playing 5 on 3 and you struggled to score or even play a decent amount of defense? Like, how is that even possible? Alabama caught up and was only down by 3 with 1 minute remaining in the game. Like, seriously, you're playing 3 freaking players. You should start blowing them out. But you only ended up winning by 5? To me, that's just embarrassing. But anyways, I'm sure the Minnesota players will hear from their coach or someone. Someone has to let them know that should have never happened. But anyways guys, that was seriously the weirdest game of basketball I've ever seen. I don't really know if anything can top that. Shout out to Collin Sexton. He dropped 40 points in the game and 31 of them in the second half. And before this game, Collin was projected to be drafted around 8 to 10. But after this game, his draft stock is definitely going to rise. But anyways guys, that's the video for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, till next time, I'm Handles, and I'm out.